Hey guys, as always, thanks for tuning in. So this is an AtGames Legend cabinet modded with the new Pixelcade Pulse arcade lighting system. Let me give you a quick demo. So before I get into the demo, let me show you everything that's installed here. So of course we've got our Pixelcade LED marquee. That could also be a bit pixel. We've got a speaker ring on the left side, one speaker cover on the right side, center effects matrix, retro 7 segment, display LED strip on the left, one on the right, and also one there. So 3 LED strips total. And then on the right side, we've got an effects matrix there, and then also one mounted on the side over here. And then the idea is, as I scroll through various consoles, we have different lighting effects that happen specific to the theme of that console or game. Game-specific animations as well. So as you select your favorite games, we don't have these for all of them, just kind of the iconic games that you'll see there. See, there's a little animation there in the center. And then what's pretty cool is if you specifically go to the FB Neo wheel, so Final Burn Neo, go here. Let's pick a game. Let's pick like Galaga, for example. Got a lot of effects on Galaga. And we have this thing called in-game effects powered by DOFLinx. Get some effects there, and then take a look at that 7 segment display. We've got a running score, and then we have explosions happening on that center matrix as well as on top on the Pixelcade LED marquee, or if you've got a bit pixel. If you have a bit pixel, you can get these effects by upgrading to a Pixelcade version 2 board. Now, in addition to the in-game effects powered by DOFLinx, we also have RetroAchievements integration, which you have to set that up. That's like a one-time setup and create an account on RetroAchievements. But once you've done that, there's actually quite a few games that have RetroAchievements. So you'll see there, this one has 8 RetroAchievements. And let's go ahead and play it. Hey, watch the Pixelcade marquee, hit 1,000. It'll display the actual text of the retro achievement as well, as you saw right there. So that's retro achievements, and there's quite a few retro achievements. Like I said, you see a little celebration achievement animation going on there. So that's a real fun one to play with. There's quite a few of those. Here's another pretty cool feature of this new version. So there's a new feature called the track mode. So grab the app and go to a track mode. And this basically lets you define your own playlist of all these new widgets that are part of this new release as well. So right now it's just cycling through some favorite marquees that I've set. So you can see here, once it hits the end, it's then going to go loop and it's going to start at some of these information widgets. So let's just let it go to the end, and then I'll show you these new widgets it's going to go through. And this is now integrated with RCade screensaver, which is pretty cool. So as RCade goes into its screensaver mode, this kicks in. So now I've got it set to show us football scores, specifically the Rams and the Seattle Seahawks that are playing as we speak. Now it's going to go to a stock ticker. And you can see it, you can define how long you want each widget to play. So this is going to play for 10 seconds, then it's going to go to Netflix top 10. That's going to play for 10 seconds. Then it's going to go to a clock with a Frogger theme, and then to another clock with a Galaga theme. And then all of these you can control the time. So if you want these longer, you can just go here and pick how long you want each widget to stay. So that's a Frogger theme clock. That's a Galaga theme clock. So you've got the little animated Starfield going on there. Donkey Kong theme clock. Okay, that's the Tron clock. That's the default. And then after it does this, let's say, okay, a few more information widgets, going to show me my commute traffic. And then it's going to just display a bunch of marquees. And again, this is all configurable. So if I want to change this, I can actually drag stuff around from the app like this. And I can also add new widgets like this. See all the new clock faces there. And then if you want to add like a favorite marquee, you can just browse to your marquees and then pick one that you like. So let's say I want Adventure 2. Click that. That's added to favorites. Now that will show up in your Pixelcade Track Mode playlist. So if I go here, that's the one we just added. Then you can drag and drop. Maybe you don't want it. It's the first one. You can drag it around. So that's the new feature called Pixelcade Track Mode. Hope you guys like that. Let's go ahead. So we're in RCade. Let's just go ahead and get out of a track mode. So then the front end is going to take over again. And let me show you some of these other cool widgets here. So if I go to widgets, again, I'm doing all this from my phone. Let's see, let's go to clocks. Oops. Go to clocks and we'll just play around. We got a bunch of new clocks. So here's a Arkanoid theme clock. You can just play with these. Here's a Pac-Man one. I like this one. This is probably one of my favorites, the Galaga with the Starfield in the back. Frogger one's pretty cool. Let's see, where's that one? That's Frogger. Puzzle Bobble. You can also show seconds as well if you want to show seconds on these. Let's see, I think that one doesn't have seconds, but this one should. Yep, so you've got your seconds. 24-hour or let's do Tetris. Okay, 24-hour format, military time, or 12-hour. Can switch between both. So yeah, those are the new clocks. What else do we have? Oh, so also what's pretty cool is you can now do all of your updates from here. So I think I've already updated everything. Yeah, I'm up to date right now, but if I had any updates to do, those would show up and you can update your Pixelcade very easily, all from the convenience of the app. Custom, this is more if you're doing a lot of custom artwork, so we'll skip that right now. That's a whole separate thing, but for power users, that's there for you. You can set the default marquee as before. There's some other cool widgets you can do while you're not playing. So we've got Spotify integration. So just set up Spotify in your app here. And you'll notice that there's actually a graphic equalizer effect going on as the music is playing. So if I play a different song, let me switch over to my Spotify and play something else. And so it will update the album art, kind of a low-res version of the album art, give you the name of the song, the artist, and again have the same graphic equalizer effects. There's a bunch of widgets. So I showed you the Spotify widget earlier. There's Plex, there's Last.fm, Fantasy Football. You can just play with these. Here's the world clock. Here's the commute traffic one. Here's the horoscope. Here's a visual of what everything looks like when it's turned off. So there's our LED speaker cover, effects matrix, 7 segment right there. For the LED strips, we went with these Cobb LED strips, so pretty clean look. I think they look pretty nice on the T-molding of the AtGames, so you don't see the circuitry. There's the side effects matrix, and then down here, again, the LED strips wrapped around the side. All right, so just a quick look at the back before I close everything up here. So there's our 5-volt, 60-amp power supply. You can see how everything wired up there. Be really careful because this is live 120 volts. So you got this little plastic cover here. Here's our 5 volts out. We've got all of our Pixelcade Pulse devices here wired up in series. Here's our Alexa that's just double taped in here. Got our power bricks on each side, so it's fairly clean. I just had to drill one hole here, one hole here to fish the cables out, and then everything else is tucked inside. Pretty clean.